Good afternoon, my friends. It's Simon down here from Two Way Do's Two, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about adding structured data to your website. So, if you catch me live, it's great. Give me a shout out. I'll do the same for you. If you have any questions or if you're watching the replay, please do let me know. I'd love to know that you're watching and are interested. So, let's get started because we're running a little bit late today, but we're here now. So, what is structured data? So, we're still talking about technical SEO, and it's obviously related to what type of content it is you're putting out there. But structured data, it's also referred to Schema Markup or Rich Snippets when it's relating to content. And it's basically a way of increasing the visibility of your pages, your content, certain things on your website in the search engine results pages. Now, you basically do this by adding some formatting to your website, to your content, to various places around your website. And it could be something like a special layout, a special format for something like a review, or you could have some extra pictures if you're a local business. Could be for ease of navigating around your site. There are lots of different types of rich snippets that you can add to your site. Now, since not everybody's doing it, and it will make you stand out when your content ranks, this is something that you really want to be doing. So, do rich snippets or structured data, does it actually help you rank in the first place? Well, strictly speaking, no, it doesn't. So obviously you still have to have all of your other SEO in place, and as well as your superb content. But when you do rank, if you've added this structured data, this extra code to your site and your content, it's basically going to make it look prettier. It's going to make it stand out. It's going to be different from all of the regular other pieces of content that are ranking alongside you. Now, that means that even if you're not necessarily right up on the the first position of page one of Google, your content is still going to stand out, and because it stands out, it's going to increase the chance of you getting a click. Now, when we're talking about SEO, so search engine optimization, and we're talking about you getting your superbly crafted, excellent content out in front of the masses, you have to get people's attention. And yes, we'll be talking about that more in later videos, other blog posts, about how you craft really great content and give it really fantastic titles, hooks to get people in. But if you're, amongst a load of other people, if you're on a really tough niche and you are going to have trouble standing out, even where the niches are slightly tougher, it seems that not everybody's using structured data, and it's slightly beyond me as to why not, because although it's not a direct ranking factor, clearly it's going to make your content nicer to look at, and so people are going to be more likely to click on it. And then you get into that cycle of, if your content is great and you've got great hooks and you've got interesting content and people consume it when they get to your site, that'll get noticed by the search engines. And by default, by people clicking on your prettier link that stands out and then staying on your site, they'll take notice of that and they'll send you more traffic, which will over time improve your rankings. And so whilst the answer to the question, do rich snippets help you rank, the answer, and Google say no, it doesn't, actually in reality it kind of does. So it's a yes but no but yes kind of scenario, because once you do rank, when you've got the rich snippets, you're essentially getting an increased chance of a click. And if you've done everything else right, provided relevant, well-written, well-laid out content that people want to consume, and then like and share and comment and download your lead magnets and all the rest of it, that of course is going to stand out to the search engines, and they're going to send you more traffic. So I would say indirectly, yes, it is a ranking factor. But obviously everything else has to be right. It's not just in and of itself a ranking factor. So what different types of snippets are there? We've mentioned one or two already, but what I'll actually do in the blog post, there will be links to full lists of the snippets. So you can go and click on those. There'll be a couple of links there. But I mean, since we're hopefully talking amongst friends and there's lots of property professionals watching this video, actually the first and probably the most important type of rich snippet for you guys is going to be the property listing. Yep, there's a snippet for property listings for your website, so that your property really does stand out, when it gets shown in the search engine rankings. But beyond that, there's also article schema, breadcrumbs. There's markup for websites, so local business website schema is another one that you're probably going to want to use. Site navigation, FAQs, Q&As, video schema, even for events. If you're one of these agents that gets involved in the local community, when you hold an event, you can add schema to it so that it stands out. So to get started with your website and schema, I mean, to actually see if you've already got it on your site, if it's available, you can actually use a tool, a testing tool. Now, Google obviously has a tool for this, so I'll drop the link below. But it's basically Google's Rich Results Tester, and that will check your website. So if you're trying to use it and you've added code, you can use that just to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. I'll put another link for lots of different examples. So again, Google show all of the examples for all the various types of schema. But let me just show you one quickly. I quickly got links. So if you're a Yoast user, so right in the middle here, you can see this is a mobile listing for a blog post on our website. So instead of it just being the regular blue link with a bit of text, it's also got the picture beside it, and it formats it into a nice little box. And so when that comes up in search engine results pages, you're not just seeing the plain boring blue link text, you're also getting a picture beside it in a nice little formatted box. And so ultimately that's what you want to be doing with basically all of the content on your website. And all of the other things that we talked about as well will be in that link. So get that from the blog post, which the link will be below the video for that. So if you're using other platforms, then obviously you can't use the schema built into Yoast on WordPress, because obviously that's not going to work for you. There are plenty of other tools now. Obviously the Google Webmaster Tools, it does have a data highlighter built in, so you can actually do it all manually. You can use another schema tool, technicalseo.com, have a schema markup generator, so you can just type in all the information, generate the code, and then paste it into your website. But these are quite manual, so I would definitely have a look on whichever platform, whichever host you're using, and just make sure that you don't already have an option to add schema into the structure of your website with a built-in tool or a plugin of some form, like you would on WordPress, because that's going to be a far better way of you doing it than having to manually generate schema for everything. If you do need to manually generate it, it is well worth the time doing. So use those tools there. Again, links will be in the blog post. So once you've checked whether or not using a tool, whether you're using one of the external tools, obviously start adding schema, and then basically check and make sure that everything is displaying all right. So you can use the Google tool to do that. But if you want to know more about schema and how it's evolving and progressing and sort of moving on, you can actually go, and this one's a little bit for the nerds really, so if technical stuff really kind of floats your boat, you probably already know about this website, but schema.org are essentially working to try and make schema kind of a level playing field for everyone, so that you've got fixed kind of formatting standards and it goes across all browsers and platforms, sort of whether it's PC, Mac, mobile, desktop, etc., laptops. And so it all displays in a similar way, but they're essentially doing for schema what Let's Encrypt did for SSL. So if you've watched our security video for your website, we talked about what Let's Encrypt are doing to really make it SSL encryption standard for the industry and free and available for everyone to use. And Schema.org are kind of doing a similar kind of thing. They've set up an organization with very big companies, including people like Microsoft, to essentially try and standardize Schema so that everything always works on all platforms. So once you've actually started adding Schema, just do remember to check it as you go along. And if you get any errors flagged up in your webmaster tools, whether you're using Google or Bing or any other external tool, there are plenty out there. You can just do a search for those. Just make sure you do check and make sure there are no problems. And if there are, fix them. So if you need to fix them, as always, often there's going to be a link within whatever tool to tell you how to fix it, or you can just Google it for whatever platform, whatever the problem is, so that you can get an answer to that. And again, there's going to be loads and loads of fixes. If that doesn't work for you, if you really do get stuck, I mean, feel free to join our property group on Facebook. You could feel free to drop questions in there. More than happy to try and help you out if you can. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my origin story or anything. My background is IT. I worked in IT at various levels. Obviously started right at the beginning, right back 26, 27 years ago, how long it was ago. And I've done first, second, third level support, done infrastructure projects, rollout projects, just everything in between. So I'm pretty handy when it comes to technology, and there's probably not anything that you're going to be able to throw up that I won't at least be able to answer, as a preliminary answer. And if that's not good enough, I can always dive in and have a look if I've got a bit more time to go a bit more in depth. And I'll do that for a couple of people. More than happy to, because there's not going to be that many things out there that haven't already been answered somewhere. So that's it for this video. I mean, I hope you find it useful. I hope it's given you some insight into things that you can be doing for your website to help increase your visibility, which is after all what it's all about. This entire sort of series of videos around technical SEO is talking about getting the foundation of your website sound, but it's also increasing your chances of getting those clicks and increasing the level of traffic, which obviously optimization is all about. So please do feel free, like I say, to ask questions if you've got any, and I'll see you on the next video. So enjoy the rest of your day, have a good afternoon, and goodbye for now.